Hello Retro Simmers, welcome to West Enemy Sims. My name is Kelvin and how are you doing? We are back with another speed build. This time we are going to build a really large build, which is a Chinese blue mansion. So if you stumble upon this video and you like my videos, content so far, please give me a like and subscribe to West Enemy Sims for more updates on Retro Sims content. Currently we are still trying to reach the target of 2,000 subscribers this year. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. It really means a lot to me. And yeah, and happy Chinese New Year in advance. So let's talk a little bit about this blue mansion. It's actually based on an actual mansion in Penang called the Cheong Fat Si Mansion. Now this Cheong Fat Si Mansion, it's I'm not actually building the exact replica on Cheong Fat Si Mansion because it is I can't find the layout. I never actually been there in person, so that is just a rough estimate version of it, and it's actually a smaller version of an actual building because the actual blue mansion has 38 rooms, 5 courtyards, 7 staircases, and a lot of windows. So this version's mansion will be a little bit smaller than that, but it's definitely can house up to 8 Sims. So this is part of like a legacy family thing. If you are trying to build a family with this mansion, it's definitely a really ultimate goal to have this mansion. This is definitely a wise choice. And and anyways, let's talk a little bit about how the actual mansion style is actually eclectic, but it has definitely Chinese architectural styles with some European elements such as the low windows and metal balustrades that is featured in the mansion. So definitely I incorporate some of the a little bit of a European style, traditionally European style architecture features into it. So they have the Gothic Louvre windows, Chinese cut and paste porcelain work, the stroke on trend 4 tiles according to Wikipedia, and Glasgow cast iron works, and some Art Nouveau stained glass windows. So if you see here in my mansion, I didn't really use any traditionally Asian style windows later on, if you see, and I did use the stained glass windows like the medieval style, but I tried to make it less obvious that it's very European. So I tried to use the colors to make it match. So in this house, it's definitely a smaller version of it, but definitely has a lot of bedrooms. So this version of this blue mansion has up to 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Have a large dining space, kitchen on the right hand side of the mansion, a study room at the back, and a living room at the side after you pass in the front entry, and 2 smaller courtyards that I split in the middle with a walkway. And I wanted to include spiral staircases, but I eventually opt for these really nice Chinese style looking staircases, which is really nice to incorporate it. And the columns are really difficult, I actually removed the original columns that I wanted, and then I opt for a more Asian style columns that are really intricate in design. That's definitely not the same exact style that the original mansion has. That the original mansion has a more thinner version of it, more thinner columns and more refined metal railings. And if you're wondering how did they get the blue color of paint of the mansion, it's actually mixing lime with a natural blue dye made of the indigo plants. Yeah, apparently when the actual mansion was built, it was around 1897 and completed in 1904. The color blue is pretty popular during the colonial period, so the dye have to be imported from India to Penang by the British to create this iconic color of paint. So I do realize in most Chinese style buildings I built, blue is rarely used in any architectural features, mostly red, gold, sometimes green to represent jade tiles, jade stone and stuff like that. But blue is a color that is quite rarely used, mainly because I think blue is pretty hard to get naturally, and it wasn't a very popular color in the Chinese culture anyways. But this in this mansion definitely made it a bit more distinctive because of the color blue. And yeah, and I think this stucco blue looks the best when it comes to it. It does look a little bit too dark when it's under the shadows, so but I guess this is the nicest tone of blue that we have. So in the front courtyard entryway, I did some archways in the center to recreate the style. And I do notice also they have two side doors at the side, which is pretty interesting. know what is it for, but I just copied it anyway. So Sims can actually access certain rooms like the dining area or the living room a bit more faster without passing through the front entry. So yeah, and this build is actually cost over 300,000 simoleons, so this is quite a big cost for any sim to move in. So yeah, but if you already made it this far, 300,000 to drop on for a house is not really much of a problem if your sims are already rich and have a lot of kids that support the household and are in the top of their career. So they are definitely something to work towards for your sims. So in the terms of landscaping, I kept it pretty simple, but mostly the outside of the landscape is the front part of the landscape is pretty much more important. I purposely leave quite a lot of space in front, and it is pretty similar to the actual one, but it's not in exact. They have a lot of potted plants everywhere, especially in the front part of the house. And also there is a lake for a pond actually for grow some lily pads and lotuses. It's pretty nice to have a nice pond on the outside of the front porch. And initially I put a straight pathway all lead towards the entrance, but it doesn't look accurate, but so I change it into a more roundabout way to go to the main house. It's pretty interesting for rich people's house. They really purposely want to make you walk really far to go into the house. I guess if you have a huge land area, I guess they don't mind having a entry after you pass the front gate, and then you have to drive or walk really far in to go to the actual house. So yeah, if you really own the land and have a lot of freedom to build the house, so I guess they want it to be far away from the entrance because they have a little bit more privacy. And it's usually quite secluded, but this one is actually quite in the center of the town in Penang, I would say. And fun fact, this house actually has built based on really strict adherence to Feng Shui. I'm not surprised that that is the case because Chinese in the past really adhere to Feng Shui principles when building a house, said to bring in more luck to the family if you build the house in the right way and in the right direction. So what happens to the actual mansion in Penang? So this blue mansion has been converted into a hotel, so and also a restaurant for guests or even outsiders to patronize the restaurant. It is pretty classy, and I checked the nightly rates and it is not cheap. I would say it is a pretty luxurious hotel. According to Google, it is 4-star hotel. So yeah, it is maintained quite well, and I think it is a part of a heritage building by UNESCO. So it is a pretty big deal that I really love that government agency or international organizations actually recognize historical buildings such as this mansion, even though it is no longer lived by the family members, but still they have repurposed and maintained into what retain the shape and the layout to what it is today. So people now can still see and admire the actual architecture that comes with it, because seriously speaking, nobody builds houses like this anymore, because modern houses are usually very geometric, very flat, very square, not a lot of interesting designs. But when it comes to European or Asian or even African architecture or regional vernacular architecture is really nice if you really want to look to it. And all of them have their own distinctive style, their own culture to injected into the buildings, and also sometimes, more often than not, incorporate environment into it and nature into the build, so it doesn't look like it's invading the space that they built on. So it's just work in tandem with the natural geography, like the hills or the water features like lakes and rivers, all kinds of things. So yeah, this build is definitely paying homage to the old historical building to it, but not exactly the same features, but grasping the essence to it. I do notice the courtyards has the same similarities with the Peranakan mansion that I built the last time, and also the colonial mansion as well have a lot of features that are pretty similar with the central courtyards ideas, and enclosing it with a roof surrounding it. So yeah, I really like this build and enjoy decorating this build as well, mixing old European architecture into Asian Chinese styles to it. So this 8 sims, the center will have the master bedroom leading towards the front balcony, which is really nice. Have the largest bedroom as well, and one of the bedrooms is actually a double bed. I would assume it is the eldest child who got married and brought in his wife to stay in this house, and that one has a nice TV and a very classical looking bedroom features and bed and dresser. And another side we have a more artistically inclined, having piano and some ballet shoes and some dance. I actually added a ballet bar after that to give a hint that this person who sleeps there actually is inclined to music. And one at the back, which is more active, more sports-like teenager, more of a jog. And then at the corner, at the end, we have 2 kids bed, a bedroom shared by 2 kids. So a little bit more childlike, more youthful, with toys and so on and so forth. Okay, that's pretty much all I want to share about this blue mansion. What do you guys think? Please leave me a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to West Enemy Sims for more updates on retro Sims content. The link to download this build as well as the screenshots of this build will be down in the description, as well as my social media channels, Instagram and Tumblr. Please do give these channels a follow. And don't forget, this build I think will be featured in my live stream, so you can download it alongside with the other houses in the custom neighborhood. This is definitely the most expensive house in the neighborhood, I would say. And anyways, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!